Thanks so much, Bob. I am here now with Julie Balistreri of Balistreri Vineyards, our gracious and lovely host for this evening. Thank you so much for letting us in. You've been a longtime supporter of CASA. Let's walk and tell me a little bit more about why you support CASA.
Well, we've been supporting CASA for about 13, 14 years now, and they just do amazing things. There are so many kids out there who really need CASA, and we are happy to be supporters, and we're so glad that they've come to our venue for so many years. And it makes it a lot easier nowadays because we do have this new space, and we used to be completely intense outside.
I remember those days.
Yes,
yeah. Well, it is a beautiful space. Thanks for letting us hang out. We're going to take you all on a tour right now, but again, we're going to start in the event center. So let's kind of walk over here. This is where, in a typical year, we would see a lot of events right now.
Yes. In a typical year, we would see a lot of events. We do everything from weddings to corporate events to, of course, fundraisers, for example, for CASA.
Many special occasions have been celebrated here. You do a wonderful job with all the accoutrements on the table, and usually the beautiful decorations that are around. What do people feel like when they walk in here and see it for the first time?
I think they're really surprised. I think they're surprised to find a venue like this here, right here in Adams County. I think they are always excited because there is this little underlining. It's not only an event center, it is a true winery. Yeah.
We're going to talk more about the winery piece in just a little bit, but I think another thing that surprises people is your outdoor venue and the space out there.
Yeah.
It is spectacular. Let's go take a peek.
Yeah, let's check it out.
All right, Julie, we've headed outside. This is absolutely beautiful. This is where a lot of weddings take place, right?
Yes, yeah. So summer months, we have our outdoor garden area. And it's just a great place to get everybody outside and have ceremonies. We have a lot of cocktail parties out here and
over
such.
Here, we have a stage that's raised. And
so we have this little stage here. It's actually a grape arbor. We call it the grape arbor out here, and lots of folks get married there. We have had bands up there, and you name it. So.
How many people in normal times can you have out here?
So normally this space is kind of deceiving, but this space out here is actually as large as the ballroom space inside. So we can host about 250 guests outside as well as 250 guests inside.
So it's a nice overflow space.
Yeah, it's great overflow. It's great for cocktail hour.
That's fantastic. And there are a lot of grapes.
And rose bushes.
And I was going to say, this is the rose bush, but here's the grapes, people. All right, these aren't the grapes you use in the wine, I'm guessing.
No, these are actually Cabernet Sauvignon, but we let the birds eat these.
Yes, and it looks like the birds
have the birds love them,
But it's all part of the being in nature in the middle of someplace you wouldn't normally suspect. And you've got a beautiful garden, you've got a beautiful fountain, some sculptures.
We have some of the
really
sculptures.
Is wonderful.
It's kind of a little oasis right here in the middle of an industrial area.
I know.
So you wouldn't know you're here. Once you see the photos, in wedding photos and stuff, you would never know that they were in this spot.
Well, it's spectacular. And you wouldn't know you're in the middle of a winery either, but it's time for us to take you on the tour of the winery.
Yeah, let's go check out some barrels and check out the cellar.
To the cellar, shall we? Julie, we're heading down the stairs now into the cellar room, which is kind of cool. Talk a little bit about the history of the winery.
Well, the winery was started in 1998.
Yes.
And so we're 22 years old now with the winery. And we started out with the flower business, of course, and then we went into the winery in 98. And we started out with only 22 barrels. We now have over 300 and some barrels, and we produce around 90,000 bottles a year nowadays.
I was going to say, let me interrupt here for just a minute. One of the bottles that you produce, what is this, the Little Feet?
That is the Little Feet, here. I'll grab it for you, Greg. So this is Little Feet Merlot, and it's about time, this time of the year is when we normally do all of our children's grape stompings. And it's really fun too. We not only give to CASA, but we also give to Children's Hospital when we make Little Feet Merlot. And it's great to see the kids stomping the grapes and things like that.
It's so much fun, and they love it.
And
you know what? When we talk about what makes your wine so unique, it is really your commitment and your dad's commitment to how this wine is made, right?
So my dad's been making wine since he was a kid, and we make our wines still today completely natural, the way my father's always made homemade wines. So there are no sulfites in our wines. They are unfined, unfiltered, fermented on the natural wild yeast that's on the grape skins. So what happens is we get grapes from the western slope of Colorado, bring them down, we crush and do everything right here. And all we do is crush the grapes. There's nothing at all added. Once they are finished with the primary fermentation, then they go directly into the oak barrels. And that's why we have so many oak barrels. Yeah.
You say you have over 300 now?
Oh yeah, and these
scattered
are
around?
scattered around the cellar here. So they are all 59-gallon barrels. There's about 288 bottles in a barrel.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and these are all full. We've just begun bottling the 2019 wines, and that's what you're looking at. These are almost all 2019 wines, and the 2020 wines we've been crushing.
So from crushing grapes to in the barrel to in the bottle.
In the bottle.
What's the total time frame there?
And to in your glass.
And to in my glass, which we'll get to that in a minute.
It's a good 12 months for sure.
Okay.
So let's say a minimum of 12 months.
Patience,
Yeah.
a lot of patience.
A lot of patience.
A lot of
yeah.
passion.
A lot of passion, a lot of, just my dad and I, we work really well together, and we make it work, so.
I want to share a little story here. So when you started in 1998,
Yeah,
when I was working at Channel 9, we used to have this feature.
that's right.
And we came out early in the morning and visited you and your dad.
Yeah.
And we crushed some
In
grapes.
our small little building.
You had nothing like this.
We were crushing grapes, there were
Yes.
bees.
There were a lot of bees. I remember.
I remember you.
Yeah, because I got stung by
There
a
were
couple of those
bees,
bees.
yeah, there were
But you've had
bees,
such
but-
tremendous success.
Yeah.
And it is, at the end of the day, all about the product. And it
Yes.
is amazing. Award-winning,
Yep.
which you're very proud of, I know.
Yep, some days they do really well at the
Some days
international competitions.
They
so.
sweep it some days. And for the international, for an American wine to do that, that
Yeah.
says something.
Yeah, so
But you know what? It's, again, all in the taste.
that's right.
Can we go to the tasting room?
Yes, we can walk up.
Tasting room.
All right. All right, we are back here at the bar, and we are going to do a little virtual wine tasting here. This is my dad, John. He's the winemaker. And we have 4 wines that we are featuring so that you can enjoy them at home. Hopefully you've already gotten your little gift bag. And we also have the salami and cheese and chocolates and everything over here. We're going to do a little virtual tasting. And we also have
We're here to help you.
Greg and Lindsay.
Yes.
These guys are here to help
Yay.
us do a little tasting. We can't taste alone, and Bob, so we're glad you guys
Hi,
are
Julie.
How are we doing?
glad you're back.
John, Judy,
Yeah.
good to see you guys again.
Many folks with CASA know about our wines, but what's really unique about our wines is everything is made completely natural. So there are no sulfites in our wines. They're unfined, unfiltered, and we talked a little bit about that downstairs. But the first wine we're going to pour is a white wine, and my dad likes reds, but he makes his white wines just like a red. And it's fermented on the skins and stems like a red wine. And the other unusual thing about the white wine that you have at home is this Riesling has a little bit of effervescence. And so what happened is it had a little touch of residual sugar, and because we do not filter or fine the wines, there is a chance if it has that residual sugar that it can ferment a little bit in the bottle. Oh. So it's almost like a pet nat. That is a new thing. It's a new old thing that was developed in the 1600s, and
Bob? Nope.
they like it too. Yeah, salute.
Cheers. Salud.
All right. And so when you taste it, you get that
It's got a little tingle.
creaminess. It's got a little tingle. It's got that really nice creaminess on the palate.
It's lush.
And then at the end, you're going to get that citrus coming back at you.
I got that.
Yeah. We're moving on to our next wine, which is Sangiovese. And this happens to be an American Sangiovese.
So that means the grapes come from California.
Yeah, these were grown in Amador County, California. Normally we would have a Colorado Sangiovese, but we lost a lot of that vineyard to phylloxera. So we have sourced Sangiovese out of California from Cooper Vineyards up in Amador County. Yeah, excellent grapes up there.
So this is a big Sangiovese. It's a big and intense wine. Sangioveses are sometimes a little on the lighter side. Color's going to be slightly light, but it's a big intense wine. It's got some big body. It's got some really nice cherry kind of flavors in it. It gives you that little hint of candy side to it, but it drinks really well.
It's akin to the Chiantis, right, John?
Yes, Chiantis are the region in Italy, but the main grape for Chianti is Sangiovese.
Yeah, so Sangiovese, that's just the name of the grape.
Oh, okay.
I got to tell you, your Sangiovese is my favorite. Always has been. I love it.
All right, salute. This is a good
Did a
one.
great job. Huh?
Awesome job on that one.
Hope you guys are having as much fun at home as we are here.
We hope so. If not, we'll
If
keep
not,
drinking
we're
your
just
honor.
going to keep going. Okay, so now we're moving along.
So, Tempranillo, it is a Colorado grape. It's kind of medium bodied, but it's a little bigger than medium bodied in our case. It drinks quite well. I think it shows a little more earthiness rather than so heavy on the fruit forward side.
It's a little green olive, so you're going to pick up little hints
Yeah.
of green olive in this
Okay.
thing. A little more on the earthy, mushroomy side. So
A little savory.
really fun.
Oh, yeah.
To pair it with, pair it with anything.
Yeah,
Got
it's
that
a good,
green, a little touch of green peppercorn. So a little bit spicier.
I like
it's a
this
great
spice.
food wine.
Got a nice
Really
little-
good
little-
nose,
Just a
too.
little
Compliment.
kick to it, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could taste that olive
yeah.
at the end, kind of like
That
green
little
olive, a
savory
This
little
would go
bit of
great
spice.
with a pizza. Huh?
Anything, yeah. Actually, that would be great with pizza,
Pasta.
pastas,
sauce.
and then if you do like spicy pork, like pork loins, pork rubs, things
Okay.
like that. Yeah. And this is also a really nice complement to, say, the salami over here. This is a Finocchione salami, so it's got those savory from the fennel that's in the salami.
Yeah.
So it goes
This
really
made
well
me a
with
good
all
little
that.
point to kind of talk about the food. So this was all included in their packages as well,
Yeah,
right?
so that's all included in the packages, and
So we
Nita
have
Crisps are
Nita
made
Crisp,
yep,
one of my favorites.
from up in
All
Fort
sourced in
Collins.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Il
the salami.
Porcolino, that's the local salumi.
Yes,
so
I'm
they're-
closest. Do you mind if I try? Thank
Yeah,
Oh,
go
yes.
right ahead.
Sorry to be rude. Yeah. And then we've got the cheese. From
Yes, and the
Haystack.
Haystack Mountain, this is their Gold Hill, and it's aged for a couple years, so it's an aged cheese. And so it's not a goat cheese, it's actually a cow's milk cheese. We're coming up on the last wine.
All right.
Now we're going to pour you a little Syrah.
You notice I'm not pouring any out, don't you?
I notice Bob's not pouring any out. He knows what he wants.
I know
He
good
knows
wine.
lunch is after this, so
I know
it's all
good
good.
We're going to pour you Syrah. Syrahs are one of my favorites. They're big and intense. These Colorado Syrahs can get quite spicy. I think you're going to see some spice in here. Colorado, the terroir in Colorado, in our opinion, leans to spice. In a lot of cases, wineries might lean away from the spice, try to get rid of the stems and soften that wine up. We love that terroir spice complexity in it. You're going to see some big, heavy fruit-forward flavors in there, but you should see pretty good spice, and the spice leans to ground pepper.
Yeah, so a lot of times folks will de-stem their grapes and they'll ferment only the skins, whereas my dad does it old school, pretty much, very traditional, and it's whole cluster. So whole cluster when we crush, and that means all of the stems and the seeds and the skins go straight into that fermentation. And you're going to get that spicy, stemmy tannin at the end, which makes it exciting because you're really picking up the terroir from the specific vineyard that it's from. You're going to get the guy who grew the grapes, and this happens to be an Avant Syrah, so it's Avant Vineyard up on the western slope. And he's up on the Orchard Mesa, so he's above the Colorado River, and there's so many little microclimates up there. So that's why you get a lot of different variation.
Syrah's my favorite.
Syrah.
Yes.
Is that your
All
favorite
right.
now?
It is, yes.
Bob?
Okay.
All right.
Syrah.
Yes.
Okay, Syrah.
Okay, Syrah.
All right.
Well, these are all wonderful. And
I'm glad you guys enjoyed them
Very
today.
nice.
For people at home who are enjoying whatever they're enjoying right now, what would you tell them about this?
I would tell them, enjoy wine for what it is. There's so many wines in the world, and you should always enjoy them for what they are. And we hope you enjoy our wines. They are completely made naturally. We drink our wines. We also drink wines from all over the world, but when you get a bottle of Balistreri wine, you know that there's nothing else in there except for the grapes.
That you do.
Oh, and the love.
Yeah,
And
and
a
there's a
lot
lot
of
of
love.
love. There's a lot of love. Thank you guys for joining us for
We're
this
happy to
Thank
be here.
you.
virtual
Yes, thank you.
tasting, and I want to thank everybody at home for joining us on the virtual tasting.
Thank you so very much. And thank all of you. We appreciate your support.
Salud.
Salud.